Lovelies, welcome back to this channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you will be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. Alright, lovelies, let's dive in into today's video. So lovely, so I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok, and I thought to share with you guys where this punk color woman is actually calling out on their own. Like, she's calling out based on what has been happening in the schools lately because of the pupils that's been going all over. She's like putting them in their place, telling them to do better as a mother, as a parent. Not only black people have to do all of these things. I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts in the comment section and let's dive into it.
I'm sorry if you think it's too early to politicize what happened in Georgia yesterday, but I will not allow the NRA to dictate how I talk about this issue that is impacting all of us. The majority of school blank and mass blank that are happening across this country are being committed by white boys. So let me ask you this. If you're a parent, white women, what are we doing? Because this year in April, I got married, and in doing so became a bonus mom of two beautiful little boys. And I have to tell you, every day we're combating messaging. Every day we're working on sharing emotions, expressing anger. We're working on things as parents to ensure that we are raising emotionally healthy, mature, communicative young men in the future. So I'm really concerned that that's not happening. What I'm understanding is that yes, this is 100% a pew access to pew problem, but as a culture, we are raising violent human beings. The overexposure and glorification of violence in our households has to stop. You have got to get a hold of what we are showing, teaching, exposing our children to, and being better, more present parents, because this is a problem in white households. So if we are white parents, we have to do something about it.
No shade to this creator. I believe you're doing what needs to be done. I believe that you truly do care about the well-being and the mental stability of your bonus kids. I think that's awesome. And I wish more white parents would take it serious, because a lot of them do not like to talk about how the vast majority of school shooters, like 99% of mass shooters are literally white boys. 99% of workplace shooters or mass shooters are white men. I do know that, especially living in a predominantly white area, or going to school in a predominantly white area, like super wealthy white area, 1% type shit. A lot of the kids that I went to school with, their parents never disciplined them. They always gave them whatever they want. Matter of fact, the vast majority of boys and girls that I went to school with are grown-ups now, and guess what? They're still living off their parents' money. They never were able to break away from that and obtain any life skills, or obtain how to be an adult and live on your own. I'm not envious of that, but you wanna know what's funny? Is all of them are envious of me, because even though I grew up out there, I was literally like one of, first off, it was just like maybe 30 other black kids in the whole town. And on top of that, it was me, 4 other black kids, and then 10 white kids who were like the poorest kids in a super wealthy area. Do you know how weird that is? Going to school with kids 8th, 9th grade who are driving Ferraris and shit like that to school. But anyway, I find it now that at my grown age and doing what I do, and I've accomplished all the things that I've accomplished throughout life, every last one of the kids who are still living off mommy and daddy's money, they envy me and are jealous of me, because I actually know how to live life. I know how to live on my own. I make my own money. I've done my own things. I became a man, and they look at me with jealousy and envy, and they wish that their lives would have been different. And it's sad, because they know that at the end of the day, they'll never actually have any real friends. They'll never have any real significant other who loves them for them, because they've been too afraid to go experience the world for themselves. See, I believe that myself, I'm the only true friend that any of them even have, because I'm the only one that don't want anything from them. Even when I was super broken out on my ass and just needed financial help, I didn't ask any wealthy people I knew for money. I didn't ask any celebrities that I've ran security for, or bodyguarded, or did private protect. I've never asked anybody for money, even though I desperately needed it. But I think it's amazing that you, in particular, you were taking the initiative to see what's going on, and then making sure that you raise good, kind-hearted, compassionate white boys, which is the complete opposite from Moms of Liberty. You know what I'm saying? Moms of Liberty, they do not want their kids to learn compassion and hope, and they don't want their kids to not be selfish, and they want their kids to be like very like assholish and just bad people. So shout out to you for being the complete opposite from Moms of Liberty, and also showing, TikTok that all white women aren't horrible mothers. Because for a long time it was believed to be that white women were terrible mothers because they're raising these boys who become men, become self-entitled, outrageously violent, men, and everybody has to suffer for the actions. Everybody has to suffer and deal with the consequences for their actions of being a horrible mother. So shout out to you for being different.
You ought not be apologizing for talking from a political angle about an issue that is inherently political because it's in the goddamn Constitution. It's a cancerous fucking tumor in our Constitution. And there's only 2 other countries that currently have gun ownership enshrined in their Constitution. Look up who they are. You're not going to like it.
White women. What are...
So, hey, Mallory. I just came on because I know I'm not white. And a bunch of white people going to be offended. And they'll probably report my video or something like that, because this is what they do when this happens. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you the answer anyway, just to help you out, because you seem like you was really concerned about why or what you're doing. It's not what you're doing. It's not what you're doing, Mallory. What you're not doing is the problem. Yeah, it's what you're not doing. See, what happens is, Mallory, in America, in this country, white people do not like to see white people get consequences. And you will minimize the correction to those consequences. Minimize them. Because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. Because he's just a child. He's just a kid. He didn't mean that when he did it. And y'all do that. You cater to their little feelings instead of correcting them when they do wrong. And this is what happens. When you do wrong, you get a consequence. Well, in your community, they will minimize that consequence. So you won't, it wasn't that bad. He didn't mean it. The other thing that you all do is you don't teach empathy or sympathy for others. You don't. So, a little boy grows up with no training or empathy or sympathy for others. He get in a situation where 10, 20 people don't agree with him, or tell him, or correct him on something he done wrong, and now his feelings is hurt, and he decide he gonna correct them. And we're not even talking about how weapons run rapid. So, Mallory, it's not what you're doing, it's what you're not doing. Y'all refuse to hold people accountable for the things that they do wrong, even starting as a child. And then they grow up with this entitlement that they think they're able to do what they want to do with no empathy or sympathy for others. And then the next thing you know, they in a situation where they need a correction. And when that correction comes, they become violent with weapons. Okay, Mallory, now you go ahead and have a good day.
Does raise a good question that I think people really need to sit down and fucking ask themselves. When the fuck did we start rewriting history to our fucking statistics? Because if we were to look at this world, statistically speaking, I bet the numbers would change. Like if we were to think about the mass unalivers in this country, we were to think of, some people think of Gacy, some people think of motherfucking Custer. Other people think of George Washington. Others people, and a vast majority, wouldn't be wrong for thinking about Abraham Lincoln. Whenever it comes to it, there's the direct and the indirect. And if we were to look at the situation directly, he didn't give a fuck about any of those morals and beliefs whenever he was raping his women, were he? Whenever he was making all them illegitimate kids, he didn't give a fuck about them being slaves then. It wasn't until he needed to win that war. Or am I wrong? Because as far as I can look at it, he said one thing to get those political lines drawn, did a whole nother, and then whenever it came down to it, there was never charges made. Whenever we talk about criminality here, how come is it that they can bring up the black on black crime, which is in a complete diversion away from the fact that more of us have been victimized by a specific group and no one ever addresses it, and politics is ran by these motherfuckers, and that's why they never want to make amends for any of this stuff. But if the fucking tables were flipped and they weren't the ones in power, they would still fucking want to try and play the same fucking mentality. Why is it whenever it comes to all of our history, it just gets washed away and it never comes up on any of these statistics? How come they don't actually look over any of this stuff? Could it be that 90% of the population that was originally here vanished off the face of the earth? Could it be that if we looked at any of these numbers, even if we started taking out entire towns, it would still never match the same amount that they did? Could it be that all the times that they said looting and riots, they didn't call it manifest destiny when it was us? That God gave us these rights? Isn't it ironic that all of these historical things are just washed away and we never talk about the data actually pertaining to criminal statistics here in this country? But they do it with more modern ones and recent excerpts so they can make it look a specific way. Anything out of context always comes off different ways. Fucking hell. Fucking hell. Fuck. Hell. It's funny how the same thing can have so many different meanings whenever you actually just look at it. But we don't really get that in this society. We get a fucking generic watered down version of, well, if we're talking about people that are still alive. Yeah, well, a lot of those people were the ones sticking dogs on motherfuckers marching for their civil rights. A lot of you same motherfuckers that are in office, how even the president now voted against those civil rights and was okay with the separation. Most of you motherfuckers that voted for him don't even realize the tokenized vice president, which is more ironic that, like, you don't catch it, even though that was an entire structured argument they had against one another whenever they ran against each other the last time. That literally he was on the opposing side for all of this. For you. And you think that her being vice president was a token gesture. Okay, sure. Y'all will vote for somebody just based off of what you perceive instead of what you actually know, and it's hilarious. This is why Prima Vista needs to be reapplied, that a lot of these numbers are skewed, that the narrative's been warped from the beginning because they're the ones writing the history books and they don't see it as unaliving somebody else. They see it as doing the Lord's work. Doing what's best for the country, what's greater good. Wasn't greater good for a mass majority of people. That's why you have to make sure that they don't get their bodies found. That's why whenever it comes down to a lot of these topics, it should be expanded upon, especially by certain communities. And this is a long-standing issue. You know why they don't get rid of all the people that are unalivers? That we became a utilitarianist society where we use these people that are unalivers for WAR fare or for fucking police or for soldiers or for this or for that. The reason why we use them is because of the same mentality everybody else gets. Well, if we don't have them and someone else has them, what are we going to do? They don't get rid of the bad people, they just use them until they're used up, and then they throw them to the side and then pretend like they did anything outside of use them. A lot of y'all say that some of this mentality hasn't been existing, but it's been existing for quite a long fucking time. So I say it's not patriarchy, it's not matriarchy. They've been in cahoots the whole fucking time. They both had mutual gains. And any foolish person will sit there and try and argue different. And if it was different, then somebody would stand up. You think of all the people that are willing to stand up for the right things at the cost of their own existence. Socrates, for example, which I absolutely adore, just for his words. He had no dog in the fight on the real end of it, except for his word, and he still stood by it like that. How many of these same people that you would idolize and say they had no other option would you copy? Would you take their space and repeat the same fucking things, go through the same fucking situations, and have that same mentality of, I'm just going to do what I can, survive? Or I'm going to stand up for what's right. At the end of that, which person are you? Because if you think that that person's like that, chances are that's the person you are. A lot of this history is nothing more than idolatry. And it's fucking hilarious. Because everybody can be told a story and believe whatever the fuck they want. And whenever it comes down to it, they don't actually examine the human for who they were. That's why a person that was raping people and letting his wife unalive, the ones that look too much like him, has the second most illegitimate kids as a president, is known as Honest Abe. It's hilarious. This is the world we live in.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, where is the white leadership? Where's your community leaders, your pastors, where's everyone that you demand from minority communities if you suspect anything's going wrong? You stole Venezuela's airplane because a white landlord said that there was Venezuelan gangs running around his slums. His slums. And we stole Venezuela's plane. That's the white leadership. The white leadership that's guiding the troops to go into another country to defend that country more fervently than anything they could ever do to defend an American as they build cop cities. Cops that they'll use against you. That's your white leadership.
I like this video a lot is that it healthily discusses the way that you could be part of a privileged class and still engage in behaviors that will positively impact the kids that you are raising so they are productive members of society, in the sense that they will not cause harm to black and brown people on purpose. Because until the systemic changes we need are applied, there has to be other things that happen in the meantime. And quite literally talking about ways you can parent your kids better that will result in behaviors like this, like what happened yesterday not happening, it's a very good thing. And I think that she's calling in her community, and by doing so, she's a great ally to all the marginalized groups that would suffer as a direct result of the bad parenting that people engage in often in this country. So using your platform to talk to your community about ways you can reduce harm to other communities is an excellent way to show solidarity.
Go back and listen to her full video, but she's talking to her people, her community, white people, because it's not the black kids that's going into these schools and doing this pew pewing. And it's a shame we have to say pew pew instead of calling it what it is. But anyway, what happened in Georgia, it is their kids that's going and doing this. Anytime you have an incident like this, it is those kids, those white kids that are doing it. And why are they doing it? Because of the privilege, and because nobody wants to turn down their guns. And you don't have to turn down your guns, but you need to protect other people from your guns, and that includes your children's. And until they get that under control with their family and their community, it's going to keep happening.
But I will not allow the NRA to
Like,
dictate.
seriously, lovelies. First of all, I must actually acknowledge the fact that this pan-colored lady decided to come out to spew all of those things. Like, over the years, black women people have seen black women, or black women has been projected as people that don't know how to raise. They are the ones raising all of the negative, kids you can actually talk up. They are the ones raising the ones that's making the society. They are the ones raising, like, the way at which society has actually, come against black women in terms of parental, in terms of family. They are all negative about it. They are like, black women don't even know how to do anything that has to do with family. Them pan-colored women are all, oh my God, they are so 100% in terms of family, in terms of raising children, in terms of everything. But forgetting the fact that, when a problem surfaces all the time and you are just shying away with the real cause of the problem, trying to pretend as if you don't know what is going on, this is when the problem, large. This is when the problem keep on repeating itself. All of this, pupils has been going all over social media, that's been going all over, for a very long time. Really, people involved are actually pan-colored people. During the course of this, past one that happened in Georgia with the pupils that, ended up unaliving for people, I was just asking myself, why is it that these women are not being dragged? Why is it that pan-colored women are not dragged in terms of raising kids, in terms of how these kids are raised, in terms of, okay, what are you doing about, your family? Why are you not raising your children well? Why is it that the society are not calling them out? Why is it so? Why is it only black women that are the ones that are supposed to be called out? Black women are the ones that are supposed to do better. Black women are supposed to be the ones to learn how to raise family, to raise kids. But when is that of, pan-colored women, or maybe pan-colored, child doing something that is so outrageous? This is when, you see people trying to pretend as if they don't know what is going on. And people are still talking about, race and cis and white privilege does not exist. All I see here is privilege. All I see here is, race and cis. All I see here is that, they have pictured this particular kind of people as the kind of people that cannot even do something like that. Meanwhile, they are the ones doing a lot, but because of the privilege involved, they don't want to call them out. They don't want to call their sins out. Like when I saw this video for the very first time, I was like, this is the first time I'm actually seeing, a pan-colored woman trying to like, okay, we have messed up. This is just on us. I think we are not even doing something right. I think there is something that we need to do more. I think that we need to learn how to raise our own better. Like, this is just the first time, and I'm so, I was like, wow, I think something is about to get changed. Seriously. A lot of time, these pupils have been going on, and it's been neglected to address the real cause, to address the way at which these people are being raised and all of that. It's all about everyone's eyes. It's all about how black people has been raised, how black family is being raised. Like, people are calling out, what happens to these people? What happened to them? Because of, supremacy, privilege. Even if they are committing the most of its most, it's just something that is being, I'm not seeing what is happening. It is high time, these people need to be called out. I like the fact that, when this thing happened, the parents have to also pay for it. This should be as an example to those people who actually neglect their children, who don't raise them well. Like, nobody is perfect. Like, nobody is really perfect. I'm not disputing the fact that mothers, parents, it's a handful raising a child. It is a handful trying to make, someone a better person. But at least, not because you feel that you have privilege, there are some certain things that you don't want to hurt your own, even if this person is going astray. You don't want to call this person back because you feel that you are going to hurt this person, because you feel that, oh, what if I say something like this? What if my own does not want to talk to me? I'm hurting his or her feelings. Like, this is just something that needs to be addressed. This is it. Because if this parent of the guy that actually did whatsoever that he did, that he felt that was right, if they didn't go through all of this process by also being convicted, I think parents will not understand. There's a video I saw on, my For You page. A lot of people were actually stitching. A pan-colored woman wrote in the comment section, why is it that they also convicted the parent? The parent has nothing to do about this. The parent is not at fault. The child, the boy should be the only one to be convicted. And I was like, I don't understand. If this parent is not convicted, how do you think that every other household will learn from what happened? First of all, they are in the wrong for actually training that guy to know how to pew. First of all, they are also in the wrong for making him have access to such pew. They are also in the wrong for purchasing what he used as a birthday gift. Who buys pew for a teenager as a birthday gift? Like, I don't understand. And then whatsoever he was taught in the bush or wherever place that they taught him how to pew, he decided to practice it. And now this is just the outcome. This is the outcome of a parent thinking that, okay, because I have privilege to do this, to carry, all of this, I think my own offspring does. I have to make my offspring strong and make people scared of him and all of that. That's a pan-colored woman. Was it a black woman that was talking about how this is actually, no, it's a pan-colored woman. I was talking about a generational cause thing. She was like, if black people faces generational trauma in terms of the way at which they were treated during slavery and all of that, what makes people think that pan-colored people won't still have that such aggressive DNA? Because it is the aggressive thing that gives them the morale to do whatever they feel that they want to do, and they do it with all ramification. That's why when she was like talking about how this is the way at which trauma is in the DNA of black people. This is the way at which aggressive is in the DNA of these other people, and this is what pan-colored people need to this is why they need to work more on themselves. They shouldn't see themselves as the most perfect, the most everything. Everything is just black people, you need to do this, black people, you need to know how to. No, it's not always like that. This is a time for parents to actually, especially male, because I have never really seen, okay, all these people that's happening, a female getting involved. It's always male. I think the way at which a male figure is being brought up is like it's supposed to be something of a hard, like extra work to bring up a male child, because they are easily the ones to be influenced, easily the one that wants power, easily the ones that want to do whatever they want to do. And even if you want to do that, you have to start on time before things get out of hand. Because when things get out of hand, it is only sorry, oh my God, justice for this, justice for that. But the deed have been done. So when I saw this video, I was like, okay, if at least they can start from, if at least they can actually start with all of this, trying to, like, first of all, accept that I am in the wrong. After which, they will know how to fix the problem. I think the world might actually be a better place. Anyway, lovely, so when I saw this video, I decided to just put it up here for us to actually, leave your thoughts in the comment section of what you think. Why not just leave me your thoughts? Subscribe to this channel if you're yet to do that, like, and I will see you later when I upload the next video. Click on the subscription button, like this video, share, leave your thoughts, and I will see you lovely when I upload the next one.